Hey guys, it's Nolan from Trade and Train. It is coming up to around 5 to 6 p.m. here in the UK, 19th of November 2020. So is there life in the dollar still? Well, that's the US dollar, by the way, guys, because there is the Kiwi dollar, there's the Australian dollar. We're talking about the US dollar. So we're looking at the dollar index right now. So, is there life in it? Meaning that, seasonally, we should have been seeing USD strength, a while ago now, but we just haven't seen it. Okay, look at the chart. This is the daily chart. Price has just been bouncing up and down with no clear direction whatsoever. Now, if you've seen some of our earlier videos or analysis, you may know that the dollar index here is at the bottom of a channel. Okay, let me just draw that for you, just in case you haven't seen what we're talking about. So we've got start of the channel here, and then we touch this candle here, then we come to the base here. There's also a top as well, something like that. So from there, technically, you would perhaps expect to see buyers come in, but with anything in trading, you can have your bias, but you have to wait really until price action proves you right, and then you get in at the earliest opportunity. So let's just go back to that daily chart. So we can see that not a lot of life. So there's a pulse. Okay, there's a pulse, put it that way. It's not all over for the dollar index quite yet. Today, if I just drop to the 15-minute time frame, you can see that anytime we come into 92.2 to the 92 zone, we start to see buyers come in. Okay, so anywhere around here, we start to see buyers come in, and that happened today. Okay, you can see this potentially double bottom there. Price came down to this zone, pushed up, tested it again, and then we saw buyers come in, and you can actually see the cycles. There's actually a bit of gapping there as well. Let's draw those cycles in just in case you can't see them. There's a little one there and a pullback, and another one there, and actually now we've actually started to change cycle a little bit. So let's just zoom in. Okay, but we still have this ascending momentum, if you like, coming from an area of support. So it looks like to me that price is coming back to test this zone. Let's draw a little zone there, because you can see this zone here, for whatever reason, around about 92.44, acted as resistance here, support, potentially coming back to retest that zone again, and then we're going to see what's going to happen to the dollar. So we've come from support, we've started to see life in the dollar, we've started to see those buyers come in. Very, very early days though, and we're going to see this is going to be a defining area. What happens to the dollar index? Will we see those buyers continue later on, maybe in the Asian session and tomorrow? Now, I don't know whether you guys know, but the dollar index, which is what we're looking at, is actually made up of what we would call a basket of different currencies. So the dollar index is made up of these currencies here: euro, Japanese yen, pound sterling, Canadian dollar, Swedish krona, and the Swiss franc. And the euro makes up the majority of the dollar index at 57.6%. So when we, the euro can affect the dollar index, really greatly, when compared to those other currencies. And that's why when you look at the euro against the dollar, the actual chart looks like an inverse or an upside down version of the dollar index. So if I was to just can I do this? If this is the dollar index, if I was to invert the chart there, then let's see if I can do this. Let's get rid of these EMAs. What we're going to do is put the Euro chart on this right hand side. Try to. Euro. And this is the hourly. We want the hourly on here as well. Can you see how identical they are, but they're actually the inverse of each other? So I've inverted the US dollar index here, so I've turned it upside down. But can you see how very, very similar they are? Yeah, you've got this double top here. Well, in fact, this would be because this is inverted, it's actually a double bottom, but double top here, double top here. So this is why the euro greatly affects the dollar index. Let me just try and put that back to normal. Let's go back to a single chart. There we go. Put that back. Otherwise, I'll be very confused when I look at the dollar index chart tomorrow. So let's have a look at euro because it greatly affects the dollar index. What's happened on that? Well, we've had this breakout of this 1 hour uptrend here. We've got our trend line clearly broken out, and like I said, we've got this double top here. So price has come and tested this zone, and we look to the right and it's coming into that 1.19 zone, so big number. We've started to change trend. We've had an impulse correction, another impulse, and we're having a little bit of a bigger pullback now. So it looks to me as though we're coming to test this zone again. This was what we call a neckline of the double top pattern. It's also support, guys. You know, it's just a fancy name that we traders use. Neckline. The way we normally trade a double top is the break and retest of the neckline. So we actually had that break here, retest, and you could have sold there, and we're actually coming to test it again. So this will be key. What happens here will be key to what we're going to see next on euro dollar and potentially the dollar index. Are we going to see sellers come in again, or are we going to see buyers come in? So this area is key. What else do I want to look at? I want to look at pound USD because pound USD is in a really interesting zone. Okay, let's just look at the bigger time frame first of all. I need to drop to the monthly. Okay, we're at the top of this descending trend line. Okay, 1 touch, 2 touch, and just about had a 3rd touch there. Okay, now within this trend line, if I drop to the daily from that monthly, we've had this impulse down from this monthly trend line, impulse down. This is potentially, okay, it's potentially a flag pattern or a bearish flag pattern or a correction. So, you know, with the technical analysis, it would suggest that we would get something like this. And another impulse down to at least this low or maybe even lower. Now, the trouble is with sterling or GBP that it's been very strong lately. No matter what's been happening in the UK with the coronavirus, any kind of Brexit news, I don't know, the market seems to love GBP, especially against the USD. But we are at the top of this, what we think is a flag correction, ascending channel. So, you know, technically we would be looking for that move down, okay, at least to the bottom of this channel. So let's zoom in a little bit more, and it's very similar to euro dollar. Look, we've had this kind of double top pattern, haven't we? So price has come and tested this zone a couple of times and rejected. And you can actually see this was yesterday's candle. We can see that rejection, and today we've actually broken the low of yesterday's candle. So we're seeing some sellers in the market. So I would presume that we're going to come and test this previous low again. Let's just draw that in. Okay. Now it either bounce or we might get that, and one more move down, and then we'll see what happens. Do we break out the channel? But if you are interested in selling this pair, then the place to sell it is from the top of the channel. Okay, you don't really want to be looking for the break of this neckline, retest, and getting in, because the closer the price gets to the bottom of this channel, the lower the probability of it continuing. It's in an ascending channel. Who knows? This might come to the bottom of the channel and bounce again. So really, if you are looking to sell pound USD, this is the best place to sell it from. Let's just delete these. Just wanted to have a look at the smaller time frame and show you what's been happening. Okay, can you actually see that we've had a break of this trend line here? Just like Euro, you know, seeing a sign of selling coming in, a little bit of dollar strength as well. So, you know, what is price doing now? Well, it's a little bit scruffy, isn't it? This could be a little consolidation before another impulse down. If this is our first impulse, breaking the CTL, we could be forming a little consolidation before we see that next impulse. You know, we will have to wait and see how this plays out, but the fact that we've broken the trend line is a good sign, and we're going to see some downside on pound USD. Now, if you're an end of day trader, you could, if you wanted to, and I'm not suggesting that you do this at all, but you are, because you are responsible for your own money, guys. I'm trying to find what I'm looking for. You could, for me, place a little sell stop underneath today's daily candle, stop above that double top pattern, you know, and look for a profit target somewhere around the bottom of the channel. I wouldn't go too far to the bottom of the channel, okay? You know, look to get out somewhere before. So that's a suggestion. Do your own analysis with anything, any trades, okay? Don't ever just copy someone else's suggestion or someone else's trade idea. Always do your own analysis, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own money, and always use responsible risk management as well. You know, whether a trade looks absolutely amazing or whether it, you know, doesn't look great, I don't know. If you decide to take a trade, you know, just because a trade looks really good, don't decide to, okay, well, I'll risk 2%, 3% on this one. You know what? Always use good risk management, because doing that will keep you in the game. If you start going crazy, you will lose your account. There's no ifs or buts about it. So don't copy people's trade ideas. Always do your own analysis, and always keep that risk nice and low. But, you know, technically this looks good. We're looking for that push down to at least the bottom of the channel, and maybe it will break out. We will see. I want to look at Kiwi dollar as well. Why do I want to look at Kiwi dollar? Well, if you're in the our free Telegram group, then you will have seen we posted this chart out to you a little bit earlier. Guys, if you're not in the Telegram group, don't worry, because I will put the link into the description underneath this video. So just click on it and join. It's totally free, and you get loads of free information. So absolutely worthwhile. So look where we are on Kiwi against the US dollar. So we're in an expanding channel, and we're very close to the top, or at the top. Obviously, we've got this trend line here where we've had several touches. So just look at this trend line and look to the right. We've got a big number, well, I would call 7,000, 70,000 there, but I would call it 7,000. There is a potential for price to come and test the top of this trend line, 7,000, and then we'd definitely be looking for rejection. We're not interested at this moment in time in buying this pair. Okay, why? Because we're pretty much at the top of this channel, where probability would suggest that, okay, we're going to see sellers come in. So even if this does push to the upside, we're not interested in buying because of the probability. We're at the top of a pattern that's been, you know, hitting the top of the trend line, hitting the top of the channel and reversing. We're very, very close to that top of the channel. Literally, we could get a spike up into that and literally reverse in seconds. So our advice, if you want to take it, is to not buy this pair, okay? Certainly not at the moment. The probability says that we're going to get downside. So what can you do? If you're going to sit out the chart, I wouldn't just sell it, okay? I wouldn't just sell it. I'd be looking for that change of cycle. Now, something you can do if you wanted to is to use EMAs, exponential moving averages. So I'm going to put a 20 moving average on and an 8 moving average on. And you can see when the 8 is above the 20, okay, we're in this uptrend, okay. We can see price bouncing off this 8 and coming into the zone between the 8 and the 20 there really nicely, and buyers coming in. We see this pullback here, but the EMAs stay in the correct order, which is important, and we see those buyers coming in again. So looking at this price action now, okay, we can see sellers have come in into the EMAs, okay, we've pulled back and we're seeing buyers come in again. So there's a chance here that we are going to see further buyers, maybe up into the top of the expanding channel towards that 7,000 region before we see sellers come in. Now, it may happen, it may not, but okay, look at the cycles. This was the swing low here. We've had a push up. There was another swing low here. Push up, another swing low here. I would be looking for a change of cycle on that 4 hour. Okay. Where's my zone? There. So we've got this little swing low here, and this is in the free channel as well, guys. So you can refer back to that. Get yourself on that free channel, get yourself added. You know, if you're especially if you're an intraday trader, what I would be looking for is that break here, that little pullback retest, and then look to sell. Okay, really, really simple stuff, because what you're looking for is, you know, the buyers are in charge at the moment, and what you're looking for is a cycle change, and that cycle change will happen when, if and when, the sellers come in charge, and we'll start seeing lower lows and lower highs. You know, we've been seeing higher highs and higher lows in an uptrend. In a downtrend, we look for lower lows and lower highs. So we're looking for price to change cycle. So just look out for this. It may come and test 7,000 and top of the expanding channel, but otherwise, you know, we'll be looking for that break and retest of, it's around about 68.77. Okay, we're looking for a nice impulsive move down, little pullback, and then looking for sellers to come in again. One more chart I want to look at with you guys. These are all dollar based today because the dollar's in an interesting position, coming from support. We may see further dollar strength throughout the rest of the week. Dollar yen, okay, dollar yen. Just keep your eyes on this one. There's a good reason why as well. We're in this descending channel, as you can see on the daily. Okay, price is making lower highs, lower lows, but we're coming into, you know, a very key area. We've got the 103 here, which is where price, I mean, look at this daily candle, guys. Look at this daily candle. It came into that zone and just was huge, 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 huge. So we're coming into a decent area again of 103. We've also got, if you look to the left, we've got, you know, got this zone here as well. Oops, didn't mean to do it that big, but we've got 102 as well. Now I don't know whether it will come down into 102, but you can see that this is a really key level. Price came down to this zone. This was like at the height of the COVID situation, where pretty much everything dropped. Dollar yen was no exception, and this is where buyers found support. Okay, at 102. So we've got 103 coming again, and I would keep an eye on that to see if we get buyers come in again. Otherwise, the next level is 102. Okay, we're just going to drop to the smaller time frame just to show you at 102. Sorry, 103. Which is actually just above it. We start to see those bars come in, and then we had a huge momentum. So 103, definitely keep your eye on. But if we progress down towards 102 on dollar yen, then things are going to get really, really interesting, and there's potentially quite a few pips to be made on this. But just watch out for these big numbers, 103 and 102. So guys, pound dollar, really interesting place. Kiwi dollar, really interesting place as well. Those are probably my two favorite currency pairs to be watching this week, if I'm honest with you. So that's it from me. We've got a free masterclass on Saturday the 21st of November. I'll drop the link in to the description. Totally free and online. We're going to teach you a lot of stuff. Come along, ask us whatever questions you want. If you've got any trading questions, when I say whatever questions you want, hopefully they'll be about trading. So ask us, the trading questions that you want answered. We're here to help you, give you advice. And add yourself to that free Telegram channel as well. And guys, remember, keep that risk low, do your own analysis, and we will see you in our next video coming out tomorrow. Alright guys, that's from me, Nolan, and the Trade and Train team. Have a great evening, and I'll speak to you soon.